2025 was amazing. Now, I'm not talking about general anything because I don't know how it was for everybody else, but for gaming, 2025 was the best year we have had since 2018, and 2025 is one of the best gaming year we have ever had, because if I just keep mentioning the games that came out last year that were good, this video will be hours long, and I don't have that kind of time because I still haven't played every single thing that came out last year. And my job is to play games. Just imagine how many good games there were last year. And the main thing that I want to talk about in this video is the games, the main point, the big ones, and some things that happened in 2025 because it was a huge year. First of all, the games, just fabulous. One after another, we just kept getting banger after banger after banger, and it never stopped throughout the year, every single month. There was at least one game that came out that was like, yeah, this game is gonna be a game of the year contender. And I'm not talking it came out like every once a month. Like there were times when there were 2 to 3 games that came out in singular one month that I would say were at least contenders for game of the year. So if it was a different year, just that amazing of a year was 2025. So let's just say there was one flaw, even though it was this amazing. And the flaw that I'm talking about is Clear Expedition 33. A game so good that it blew everything out of the water. Now, let me be honest, Clear Expedition 33 is an excellent game. It is fabulous, but it is an issue because Clear Expedition 33 became the reason many people overlooked the entire year of 2025. It was everything. It was the only thing people were talking about. Like it was the only game that came out. Like it was the only game that was the big thing last year, which is total false, by the way. There were hundreds of indie games that came out last year that were just as amazing, and one that I think is even more amazing, and that game being Hollow Knight 6, the most excellent experience I have had last year, and this is definitely like top 5, maybe even top 3 games of all time for me. And Silksong is just sets standard for every single game that came out after it for me. When I played Silksong, it made me think, am I ever gonna enjoy anything else, because of how good Silksong was. Just on different level, man. And I can just keep talking about that game for hours, but I'm not going to. I want to make a separate video on that. Same with Clear Expedition 3, I want to make a separate video on that. But yeah, I do think it's a flaw that this game took everything from other games. It was great, it was amazing, but did it really deserve the art style and the best RPG? Did it? When another game, being Kingdom Come Deliverance, was right there. Now, sadly, I haven't had time to play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 yet. I will be still playing it, but I have heard a lot of good things about how good that game was and how excellent it was. And it's not just that, there were a lot of good AAA titles as well. Ghost of Yoti was there, Death Stranding 2 was there, and then there was Nintendo Switch 2. Whether you love it or hate it, Switch 2 is a good console. You can't deny it at this point, because Switch 2 has Mario Kart Worlds, which is actually a game that people don't agree if it's good or not. I haven't played it, I don't have Switch 2. But Switch 2 has Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and Hyrule Age of Imprisonment as its exclusive. And also Kirby Air Riders. And I think, except for Mario Kart Worlds, all of these three were pretty well received. It also got Pokemon Pokopia, which is also well received. But that's not what we were talking about. I think Nintendo had a pretty good run with that. I also enjoyed Pokemon Legends CA, but I'm not going to talk about that game here. It's another video. But the game that I'm going to be talking about include Silent Hill F. I made a video about that not too long ago. Amazing horror experience. If you haven't played it, definitely give it a try. Hades 2, another excellent roguelike, just fabulous. No wonder it got that high of a Metacritic score. And one game that I think got overlooked a lot, Split Fiction. Now it definitely sold good copies and it was talked about for quite a while, but I still think it's underrated because of how good that game was. It was also overlooked quite a lot and it was nowhere to be seen in the Game of the Year list. I think it was nominated for something, but I'm not sure. That game deserved more recognition. It Takes Two won Game of the Year, and I think Split Fiction is better than It Takes Two. Just putting it out there. Split Fiction deserved more. But that is not the game that I'm going to talk about next. The next game that I want to talk about is Monster Train 2. I don't think you have heard much about this game, but this is an excellent deck builder roguelike. It's actually the first deck builder roguelike that I played, and I'm glad I did because it's such a fun experience. And then came in Ninja Gaiden Rage Mode, another amazing 2D experience. It was short but so much fun. I am excited to play Ninja Gaiden 4 soon. I haven't played it yet, but that game also came out last year. There you go, another excellent game that came out last year. And then Elden Ring Night. Such a fun experience it was. Now it did get mixed review, it had flaws. I'm not saying it was that perfect, but I'm just gonna put it out there. If it was any other year like 2024, 5 or something like that, or 2024, 3 or something like that, I think even Elden Ring Night stood a chance in Game of the Year contender list because that game was also excellent. As for PlayStation,
Asking you to extend a chiral network to the south. That's our last, best hope of saving the world.
they came out with Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yoti. Two amazing games. I actually played Ghost of Tsushima not too long ago, and I'm really excited to play Ghost of Yoti. Though I don't think I will be able to since PlayStation is looking like they won't be releasing games for PC anytime soon now. But that's not the topic here either. Death Stranding 2 is something that I'm going to give a try to soon since it just came out for PC. But I'm currently playing Death Way Fuko, amazing game. We'll make a review on that as well. But another game that I want to talk about that came out in 2025 is Dispatch. Again, amazing game. No wonder it got so much recognition. It came out late. If it had came out earlier, I think it would have been nominated for few things. But it did not. It was excellent. Everything from the story to the characters to the design are just fabulous. And another game that I did not play last year was Ark Raiders. Heard a lot of good things about it and how good it was in multiplayer. Just didn't get a chance to play it. Maybe someday in future. But one game that I did play was Metal Gear Solid Delta. Now, I'm not a Metal Gear Solid fan. This was actually the first game that I still played from the series. And at first, I had my doubts. I did not enjoy it all that much at first. But slowly but surely, I started enjoying it. The story was good. The characters were so out of pocket. Everything was just felt kind of weird. From the characters to the story to the gameplay. But I did find out that it was Kojima's magic that made this game great. If you are into that game, if you like Kojima's games, definitely try that one. But another game that I did not play, Danganronpa. Now that game was excellent, I have heard, but didn't get the time to play it sadly. I have also not played Undertale. Maybe in the future I'll play those games as well. But not the topic for now. The next game that I want to talk about is Ender Magazoni. Now, it was an excellent Metroidvania. I wouldn't say it was on par with Silksong, but still such an excellent game with beautiful art style, amazing combat, just overall great. If you enjoyed Silksong, go ahead, give the series a try. That series is also pretty good. And these are the games that just popped on top of my like, oh, Blueprints as well, but I haven't played that one. So I forgot to mention that. And these are the games that just popped on top of my head. But now that I'm going through the list, here are a lot more that were something that people talked a lot about. I forgot to mention in the videos. Ball Pit, the Life of P DLC that I haven't played. Kirby got a new update for the old game. That Forza Horizons got a new update. I meant Battlefield 6. I also haven't played it, but I heard it was good. Then best game that came out last year, Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Okay, I'm joking. It's the worst thing that came out. Like there were quite a few bad ones like Inside, Call of Duty, but we can ignore them because there were games like Monster Hunter World, which I've heard a lot of people loved quite a lot, and then there was Doom the Dark Age, which is also excellent. But then there was the Friends Love games that people called like Peak, Repo. I don't know if Lethal Company came out in 2025. No, it did not. I don't think so. But there are a lot of these kind of games as well that people just enjoy playing with friends. And these are just like some of the least talked about, by the way, and these were still talked about for a long time. And games like these were coming out on monthly basis. Just imagine how good the year was if some of these games are just fillers. Just imagine how good the year actually was. And after all of that, I must conclude one thing. 2025 was the year of indie games. Just excellent. Every month we got an indie game that surpassed the one before. And every single time we just kept getting better and better indie games. There were few good AAA as well. I'm not saying AAA flopped entirely, but indie won the entirety of 2025. And I think that's the reason I saw some people say, oh, there weren't winning good games in 2025. Like, have they played indie game in 2025? Do any only play AAA slop? Because there were excellent games in 2025. But yeah, even after all of these excellent games, the one game that I absolutely loved the most in 2025 was Hollow Knight Silksong. I think 2025 is the year that I played most amount of games. I think the number is close to 100. I have a job that forces me to play games. It weren't just 25 games. There were old games, new games as well. But even after all of those, the game that I loved the most was Hollow Knight Silksong. Just peak, straight fire. I still wish to replay it. I just don't have enough time to do so. Currently, I'm playing Black and Coco. Fun game. And that concludes the video for 2025. Doesn't mean the video is over. Listen, I think 2026 is going to be just as good as 2025 actually. It's just such a good year so far. We have gotten Nioh 3, Resident Evil 9, Slay the Spiral 2, Crimson Desert, the best game probably that came out this year. And the list is gonna go on. I think 2026 might just be just as good as 2025 if the lineup keeps going. I don't know if GTA 6 will come out, but still, we are looking forward to quite some of the best games possible. I am excited to play Pragmata, which comes out this month soon. I'm also excited to play Replaced. It's an indie game. I did try Grim 2. I just did not enjoy it as much as I should have. But that's on me. I will probably make short on that game. Oh yeah, and also the worst game that I played in the entirety of 2025 was Shadow Labyrinth. If you haven't heard of it, it's a game made by Bandai Namco. It's a Metroidvania. It's a Pac-Man Metroidvania. It's bad. It's extremely bad. I'll make a review on that game someday, just to tell you how bad that game really is. But yeah, I think this is probably the biggest video I have made so far. And I think I still fake mention like at least 50 other games that people enjoyed that I didn't mention in this video. Just that's good of a year on, honestly. Well, I hope this turns out like 2017 and 2018 was, because those years were pretty good back to back. 2017 was good and 2018 was even better. So I hope 2025 was good. 2016 is even better. Maybe we will see. But that's it for this video. Thanks a lot for watching. If you watched the entire thing, I will be surprised. But if you did, thanks a lot.